Well, when I come to the mountains, I usually go up into the woods. But on a rainy day like this, it's tempting to walk through the villages. This is why. See how all the shutters are closed on this house? On a rainy, cold day like this, the villagers in Japan tend to stay indoors unless there's a really good reason to come outside. That means the crazy adventurers, foreigners. Hey, doesn't have to be a foreigner. Lots of Japanese are adventurers. Crazy ones like us can come out and explore and have a look. And there's not as many people to make uncomfortable. Yeah, believe it or not, when we're around, we make people uncomfortable. Especially if we're videotaping things, and especially if we're, trespassing, which I try to avoid doing. Sometimes it's nice to take a look at things. Like I see a big bucket. Look at that. There's stairs here. Let's take a look together. This trail goes down to the river. Some steps here. Let's go look at this big tub here. You can see water dripping tantalizingly onto the tub. Isn't that nice? Look at the way the water drips and leaves all those patterns. But see, the good thing is, on a day like this, when it's rainy, you can come down and, be considerate. Don't trespass too much. I think I'm on basically a right-of-way here, a right-of-way down to the river. Look at how that trail through the village goes up there. So coming on a rainy day is good because you can walk around and not disturb people. Now look at that. This is a hallmark of small villages in this part of Japan, at least. These little footpaths that meander all about. Remember, these villages were formed long before cars were introduced, and people got around by walking, and everybody was a neighbor. And so they had footpaths that went everywhere. Look at this. I'm pretty sure that this house here is an abandoned house. Look at that. Right next to the river. Wouldn't you like to live there? And this house probably as well. That's probably a shed. And look at that. The yard is in disarray. You can almost see inside. There's the kitchen or the bath. That's probably the bath right there. Very, very nice. This is the, over here, look at all the vines growing over everything. Although there's still power cables here. Maybe some oldster still lives there. That's for the toilet, I'm pretty sure. The toilet would be there. In old Japan, the houses were arranged in a manner that was auspicious. I love to say auspicious. You hear me say it all the time, but it's a great word. Basically, lucky manner in similar to feng shui. We have an orientation to things. Toilets were in a certain place. Entrances were in a certain place. Kitchens were in a certain place. This is the old post office. Closed down now. And it's basically a part of this old house, which is, I made a video once a long time ago saying my favorite house in old Japan, and this is it. I love this old house. It's been basically empty for as long as I've been coming up here. I've never seen any sign of anybody here. The shutters are always closed, and this was the old post office that I think the family ran as a side business, or that was their business. Look at this pine tree. Japanese typically grow pines. In old Japan, they would grow a pine tree in front of the entrance to the house. Again, an auspicious symbol. And look at how this pine tree, the wall has been basically shaped around the pine. And look at that, there's the entrance to the house over there. No sign of anyone living there, and all the shutters are closed. See if you can see over the wall there. Not really. Second floor, all of those windows are shuttered. This is a big house, it's a big estate. It goes around the side there, quite a ways back. Big place. Probably in its day, there would have been maybe 15, 20 people. No, maybe not. There's 15 people living in a house like that. Look at these old houses. That's neat. Look at that one up there. Oh, there's somebody there. Wow. I hope I didn't see. That's what I'm talking about, making people uncomfortable. Okay? Look at this place. I'm sitting here, pointing my camera up her way. She's standing outside, admiring the view or whatever. And there I am. She looks down, she sees some foreigner out there taking a picture of her in her house. See, you can be a very courteous person and a very, reasonable. Now she's back out again. I won't turn the camera back up there. She's out there watching me. And rightly so. You can be a very courteous person and totally not mean to, but you really can make people feel uncomfortable with the actions that you take if you're not considerate. That. Wow, can you see my light is turned on? You can see inside the house there. Oh. Ghost house. Look at this. This is the alcove for the doors. There's the old post office box, and the shutter would go on there. You can see the wooden shutter. See, there's another old house there. Now there's a path down to the river. Look at, there's the kitchen or bath chimney. Beautiful little village. Pamiochiai is the name of this place. But back to my point. These places are not like your town. Now when I'm saying your town, I'm assuming that you live in a place like I lived in, which is basically a community of more than several thousand people. And forgive me if I'm wrong, if you're from a small community or something like that. But even small communities, I'm from the United States, even small communities in the United States aren't like this. Okay, let's go back to that point. Small communities in the United States are insular to the point that the community has a sense of self, right? But they are individualistic to the point, whoa, sorry about the zoom there. They're individualistic to the point that each family, wow, look at that. There's an aquarium with fish. Each family has their own little area. That's true here too. But this is different. This community, the whole darn village, the people that live here have a sense of ownership. This is their village. This is their area. This is their home. And it's more than just having their plot of land and their little place. Here's a magnificent house up here. And when foreigners are true outsiders, just as I'm a foreigner, I'm an outsider in Japan in general, but even more so in a place like this. We are true outsiders. In fact, there's village, mura, and then there's this thing called buraku. Buraku are small little hamlets, whereas a village is more of a larger affair, a collection of small communities. A hamlet, a buraku, is like this one. In the past would have they consisted of families where they had all the same surname, most likely. In fact, one of the traditions in the buraku in the old days was that when a baby was born, it was given a name that nobody else in the buraku had, because they didn't refer to themselves as Suzuki-san and Inoue-san, because they were all Inoue, or they were all Suzuki. They referred to them by their first names. There was Hiroshi, there was Miyoko, there was Takeshi, or whoever it was. And so the tradition was you gave a new baby a different surname than anybody else, so you could distinguish them all apart. So you've got a community of people where they're all a big family sharing a surname, and this place is theirs. Every little trail, every little house, every little field this one may belong to Takeshi, this may belong to Hiroshi, but in the end it all belongs to everybody. And when even outside Japanese, you talk to Japanese people. I've done this. You talk to Japanese people and you ask them, how do you feel about walking through a little village like this? And for the most part, they feel comfortable walking through, but they don't want to stop and linger. They don't want to photograph it unless it's a tourist place, because they know that sense, even if they don't know it outright, even if they don't cognitively think about it the way I'm talking about it now, they know there's a kura. That's an old storehouse for this magnificent place right there. They know that this is not theirs. This is not their place. Not just each house, the entire village. A light in the window. So when I come here with my camera, or when you come to Japan and come to a place like this, and you start poking around, filming, walking upon people's land, turn around the camera here. Oh, here comes a car. When you start doing that kind of stuff, you are trespassing in many ways. You are trespassing upon, if you actually leave the ground, don't leave these kind of places. What I did down there was a little bit not good. You are trespassing. If you do that, you're trespassing on the property. When you spend time interrogating, that's the word, like I was doing, interrogating their places. Like if you study it with a camera, you're taking pictures like that, you're in a way, you're kind of trespassing. And they feel it, and I feel it coming off of them. And they're nice people, don't get me wrong. It's just that it's like somebody entering your house and doing the same thing. You know, coming into your space and photographing it or filming it in some capacity. So respect it in a way. These places are their own little places in their own rights. And with that, I think I'll turn the camera off. I've done enough of my own trespassing for today. Let's have one last look at the village here. Probably Uchiai from the mountain view of the river, and the fields, and the stairways, and the beautiful, awesome splendor of paradise in the mountains. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.